So I've learned lots of great things from FFA, and great things about leadership and learning how to do things. But two of the things that really stood out to me was selling fruit, and I guess the corn drive was the big thing with FFA. And what always amazed me was the generosity that the farmers had to give back for students who were trying to get into agriculture.
Actually, the biggest lesson that I could say I learned from the FFA was can't never tried. Doing leadership events like the extemporaneous speaking, I'd never done that before, but I had an advisor that pushed me to work hard, and through that I went to the state conference and competed on the state level for my first time with that. My advisor, Mr. Gersma, really pushed me to apply for district office, and I didn't think I'd be able to do it, but can't never tried, so I did, and sure enough, I got elected.
I have a couple good memories of being in FFA and things that we learned from the organization. The first I'd say would be what they tried to instill in us for environmental stewardship. And this will date me, but going back in the old days of farmers buying pesticides in 5-gallon steel cans, the project the FFA chapter would do is to take empty 5-gallon cans and crush them and then dispose of them properly. So that was a job that we did. Secondly would be to instill in us showing community safety. And so we would go to blind intersections where corn was being grown and cut the tassels off the top of plants in the intersection on all 4 sides so that people approaching the intersection would have a safer view. So the projects like that we got involved with taught us to serve your community as well as learn about agriculture, the business of agriculture as well.
Okay, one memory I have from FFA is when we would go to animal judging contests, and it was Tony Lubin and Becca Siemens, Holden and I in the car, or in the Suburban with Mr. Gersma, and we stopped at a trade show at FFA, and Tony Lubin picked up a can of Wienall metal shine, and it was just a fun experience because we were finding any metal either in the Suburban or around that we could shine and see how polished he could get it. And he even, Mr. Gersma trusted him to polish his ring, his wedding ring, which was pretty good.
I remember one corn drive being out with 2 friends of mine, a girl and another guy with a broken arm, and we pulled into the elevator at the local town and they helped us shovel off all the corn that we had gathered that day. It was just a testament to everybody kind of pitching in and giving back to people that wanted to get involved with farming.
Asmus Farm Supply supports the FFA. When we make a financial contribution to the organization, the Syngenta Chemical Company has a matching funds program. And so when we've made a donation, the Syngenta Company gave us a banner like this to display in our office that shows their support of FFA as well.
This song was playing in the 4th general session when they announced the state officers, and as the new team was introduced, and I gotta stop this or I'm gonna get the chills, but the new officers would be introduced and their predecessor would run up on the stage with them in front of 5,000 Iowa FFA members, and the whole process of that state leadership conference, we're sitting together as state officer candidates. We're going through interviews, we're doing group projects, we're kind of showing leadership abilities, teamwork, that kind of thing. And so you got this really close connection with all of those candidates. And there was some really high profile candidates there. And when I ran for the state vice president position for the North Central District, I actually didn't get to finish my candidate speech. It was over time. So that whole conference, I was just nervous. It's like I blew it. There's no way. I would have never imagined serving as a state vice president. And when that song played and they announced from the Bison FFA chapter, I couldn't hear after that. It was really cool. I'm getting choked up, but that was one of the greatest moments in my FFA career. I would have never thought that I would have been serving, and that next year was amazing. I mean, I got to work with some of the greatest minds in the FFA, still really good friends with them. I mean, that next year we spent traveling the state, speaking to FFA members, going to high schools, doing leadership things, just simple leadership activities, whether they had any serious message or it was just fun. There are memories from that single year and the 20,000 miles that I drove around the state. There are memories from that year that I will never forget.